The snowstorm hit just before midnight, and Ethan Carter was already thinking about his daughter. 8-year-old Lily was home with their elderly neighbor, waiting for her father to finish another long shift. Ethan had promised he would be home before midnight. Then he saw the black SUV. It sat sideways in a ditch, half buried in snow, its hazard lights blinking through the darkness. Ethan slowed down. His old pickup was barely handling the road, and his fuel was almost empty. But then he saw movement behind the glass. Someone was trapped inside. He pulled over. A woman lowered the SUV window. She was soaked, shivering, and had a cut above her eyebrow. "Please help me." Ethan opened the door. "Can you walk?" She tried. Her ankle gave out. Ethan caught her and helped her into his truck. He took off his jacket and wrapped it around her. "You need that more than I do," she said. "I'm fine." He wasn't. "My name's Ethan. Sophia. Last name?" She gave him a tired look. "Does it matter?" "Not tonight." She almost smiled. Ethan drove toward a roadside lodge. Sophia kept one hand around a leather briefcase. "Important?" he asked. "Documents for a board meeting. If I miss it, people could lose their jobs." "Then let's get you somewhere safe first." She looked at him. "You don't even know me." "No, but you're stuck." At the lodge, a nurse checked Sophia's ankle. It was badly twisted, but not broken. Ethan called home. "Lily's asleep," his neighbor said. "She asked me to tell you she isn't mad." Ethan smiled. "Tell her I'll be home as soon as the roads open." Sophia watched him. "Her mother?" "She died 3 years ago." Sophia lowered her eyes. "I'm sorry." Ethan looked toward the window. "Some things just become part of your life." The next morning, the storm cleared. 3 black SUVs pulled into the lodge parking lot. A security team rushed toward Sophia. "Ms. Bennett." Ethan stopped. Sophia looked at him. "Ethan, you're Sophia Bennett?" She nodded. Ethan knew the name. Everyone at Hartwell Global did. She was the CEO. He had worked there for 6 years, but he had never met her. Sophia rarely appeared on the main floors. Employees mostly saw her in recorded town halls, corporate announcements, or photographs. Ethan stared. "You're my boss." Sophia gave him an uncomfortable smile. "Technically, yes." He laughed once. "Of course." He drove away, thinking that was the end of it. It wasn't. Monday morning, Ethan walked into Hartwell Global carrying his toolbox. His supervisor was waiting. "The CEO wants to see you." Ethan entered Sophia's office. She stood beside the windows in a navy suit. The woman from the snow was gone. This was the CEO. Sophia opened a file. "Your position is being eliminated." Ethan stared at her. "Why?" "Cost reductions. 27 positions." He thought about Lily, the bills, and the small house he had promised to keep after his wife died. "Friday is my last day?" Sophia nodded. Ethan gave a bitter laugh. "That's one way to thank somebody." "I didn't choose your name," Sophia said, "and I haven't signed it." She pushed another file toward him. "Your employee ID was used to approve unusual maintenance requests." "I didn't approve those." "I know." Ethan looked at the records. 3 maintenance shutdowns. 3 after-hours access requests, millions in payments connected to the same dates. Sophia lowered her voice. "I think someone is stealing from Hartwell." Ethan frowned. "Why use my account?" "Because you're being set up." Ethan looked at her. "So I'm being fired for something I didn't do?" "I'm trying to stop that." They checked the maintenance server. Ethan found a pattern. Every suspicious payment happened after a maintenance outage. Cameras went offline. Restricted areas were accessed, and his credentials were used. But the access log showed Ethan's account being used while he was somewhere else. He pulled up the security footage. A man entered the server room at 11:42 p.m. Ethan froze. "Martin Hale." Sophia's face tightened. "Her CFO." "Don't accuse him yet," she said. "If he's smart enough to use your identity, he'll be smart enough to erase evidence." They copied the records. When Ethan returned to maintenance, the files were gone. His access had been revoked. Then, security called him upstairs. 2 officers were waiting. "We found unauthorized transfers linked to your employee account." "That isn't mine." Martin Hale entered. Perfect suit, calm expression. "I'm sorry, but this is serious." Ethan stared at him. "You know it is." Martin smiled. "Careful." Sophia arrived. Martin placed Ethan's employee records on the desk. "Either he stole the money or someone used his credentials. Either way, you have a security problem." Sophia looked at Ethan. "Did you authorize any of this?" "No." Martin turned to her. "Your board meeting is tomorrow morning. They already know about the missing funds." Sophia's face hardened. You told them? I had to. He looked at Ethan. Suspend him until the investigation is complete. Ethan waited for Sophia's answer. She looked at Martin. No. Martin's smile disappeared. Then you're making a very expensive mistake. He left. Ethan looked at Sophia. You shouldn't have done that. He's coming after you, she said, not just me. That night, Ethan found an envelope beneath his front door. Inside was a photograph of his pickup outside the lodge. On the back, stop digging. His blood ran cold. He called Sophia. This ends tonight, she said. Ethan remembered something. Hartwell's critical systems created weekly offline maintenance backups. Unlike the company servers, those drives couldn't be remotely erased. They drove back to the office. In the backup room, one drive was missing. Ethan searched beneath an old maintenance shelf and found a small storage drive taped behind it. They opened it on a separate laptop. Payment records, access logs, emails, and a recorded call. Martin's voice filled the room. His account takes the blame, another voice answered. And Sophia? Once the board forces her out, the company is ours. Sophia froze. She recognized the second voice. Richard. A board member. The board meeting was less than an hour away. Ethan looked at her. We take it to the board. Sophia shook her head. Richard will deny everything. Then don't give him time to prepare. The boardroom was full when Sophia entered. Martin stood beside Richard. You're late, Martin said. Sophia placed the drive on the table. No, we're early. Martin glanced at Ethan. You're really bringing a maintenance supervisor into this? Ethan stepped forward. You used my identity. Martin laughed. You have no idea what you're talking about. Sophia connected the drive. Martin's recorded voice filled the room. His account takes the blame. Silence. Then the payment records appeared. Then the access logs. Then the security footage. Richard stood. This is fabricated. Ethan played the recording again. Richard's own voice answered from the speakers. Once the board forces her out, the company is ours. Richard's face went pale. Martin backed toward the door. Security entered. Federal investigators followed. Martin looked at Sophia. You can't do this. Sophia's voice was quiet. You did it to yourself. Martin was taken away in handcuffs. Richard was arrested moments later. The boardroom slowly emptied. Sophia looked at Ethan before leaving. You could have walked away at the lodge, she said. Ethan picked up his toolbox. So could you, she smiled. That isn't an answer. It's the only one I have. For the first time, Sophia laughed without the pressure of being CEO, and Ethan realized that maybe the woman he met in the snow was still